Hi friends, thank you for joining me for my collaboration with Nikki, Mitchell and Lisa. We are doing our collaboration on the little Piggy Parakeet. So parakeet is a beautiful chartreuse yellow-green colour, I like to describe it as, named after the beautiful parakeet. So we don't call them parakeets here in Australia, we call them budgerigars. It's such a strange name, isn't it? I don't know why. I mean, parakeet sounds more like a parrot. Budgerigar just sounds weird. But we are known a bit for our weird terms down under. So yes, Budgie lost out to parakeet this round. We're often fighting over the Aussie versus American names for the pigs. And Billy won that one. So here I am putting the powder into the cup. I don't usually show myself mixing my piggies up. I thought it might be a bit refreshing today to just see how I eyeball my mixture, adding the Jo Sonja varnish into the cup just to disperse all the piggies and get all that powder separated and nice and shimmery. I don't really measure how much I put in. I just kind of pretty much get it right every time now. Lucky me. No, I've had a lot of practice, so I kind of just like put a little bit in. If it's dripping off like that, it's good to go. Your pouring medium is always going to dial out the piggies a little bit, especially mine. As you can see there on the bottle, it says Oz, which means that's my Australian pouring medium. It's a little bit more cloudy than some others, but it dries nice and clear, so I have put a fair bit of pigment in there, probably about half a teaspoon to about 30 ml of liquid, maybe 35 ml. I think that's about 150 ml cup there. So maybe I'm out, maybe there's like 50 ml in there. Who knows? I'm not measuring. As long as it's drizzling off the spoon as such, I'm pretty happy with it. So I'm not going to mix up all the colours. Seeing as we're featuring parakeet, I just thought I'd mix that up for something different. So, as you can see, it's still, quite shiny there in the pouring medium, although it does look a little bit lighter than it did before. So, I'm going to run through the colours that I am going to be using alongside parakeet. So, of course, there's the first one, parakeet. I've decided to go for a bit of a blue-green colour palette. Lagoon. Thought that might go really nicely. Thinking about what it's going to blend with and what will still play nicely with it while it blends with the other colours. Phthalo turquoise, another one of my favourites. Next up is cobalt teal. As you can see from the tube there, I use that quite a lot. That's the cell activator actually. I've got the phthalo green and blue black indigo from Atelier. Revisiting my love for that beautiful colour. So the technique I've decided to do for my video today is a bloom transfer, and I'm going to show you guys how to get some really big cells, plus some baby ones. It's a little bit tricky, it doesn't happen all the time for me, but I am sort of learning how to get it happening more, and that is by not blowing out so much, not blowing out the bloom so much at the start. So basically I'm going to blow the circle of the cell activator out on top of the colours, and I'm not really going to do much else because when I stretch it out in my transfer and then spin out the bigger board, the cells are going to come through anyway because I'm stretching that cell activator right out across a big surface. So it has to break and let the cells through. And the beauty about leaving some big puddles in places of the cell activator is that when you do stretch it out, that's when you get all your little babies appear, because it's, they're coming up kind of after the stretching out instead of before. So yeah, I don't know if it's a foolproof method of getting the big ones and the babies, but it's working for me most times. I really wish I did my hair, but anyway, it is what it is. Gotta love that pink scrunchie I stole from Layla. We literally have no hairbands. So coral pink scrunchie it is. Okay, so there you see, I've blown out that cell activator. I didn't really blow it so the cells came through. I just wanted to get a big enough puddle to scoop up with my scraper. So I'm laying down the pillow paint. I'm going a little bit too fast. I'm trying not to get bubbles, but I don't want my bloom selling up too much while it's waiting for me to scoop it. Trying to get the white first so I don't lose all of that blue and green and gold and colours onto the scraper. Because as you can see, it doesn't come off quite as easy. It gets stuck there if you don't have that white paint there either side. I hope that makes sense. So I've basically just laid my bloom onto the pillow, and now I want to get moving. I don't really want to wait too long before I start to wet the sides of this board to make it easier for that bloom to spin out. And just a little tip, there's a lot of pillow on there. So I have the pillow from underneath the bloom that I've scooped up, and I also have the big fresh pillow on the board. You can't see how much is there, but there's quite a lot on there, and you do need that amount for it to stretch out. And that is actually part of why you can get those cells to get really gigantic. Like these ones are really just off the charts gigantic. They kind of don't resemble cells anymore. They're kind of long and a strange like zucchini shape at the moment, but yeah, they'll settle down. They'll spin out and join together, and I'll have the babies in the middle and some other multi-sized cells around the place. So yeah, wasn't really planning on those big long ones, but it is what it is. I'm feeling like it's looking pretty good. I'm a little bit concerned that there's not enough parakeet in there. From this angle, it kind of looks like I did lose a lot of it off the side. But when I had a good look at it, when I was finished, I noticed that there is quite a lot of parakeet in there around those big cells and through the little baby patches there. So I decided that, yeah, it was kind of shining through really nice. And I did like the little accents of it here, there, around the place, around those cells there. And in the end, I did fall in love with this piece because I loved the little pockets of babies, especially those ones in the corner there. Don't really know how they got there, but they're pretty cute. So I'm just having a good stare at it at the moment and deciding if I like it or not, working out how to deal with that white bubble in the middle, that little white spot. And there was also a bit of a chunk in this painting up towards the top that sometimes I don't notice those little chunky bits until I'm doing the flyover and I'm like, ooh, there's a chunk and that is not a bubble. I did manage to scoop it out, and I have sent this painting off to the cupboard to dry, so I'll report. There it is, there's the chunk. Actually circled it with my camera and I spotted it for later. So yeah, that little chunk will be gone. I'm really loving how the parakeet is just peeking through and giving those little cells a little bit more shimmer and giving the big cells that golden outline. Alrighty guys, don't forget to click the links under the video and check out the other 3 videos from my gorgeous mates, Lisa, Mitchell and Nikki. Thanks for joining.